Welcome, everybody.
Hold on.
In the free world.
Hold on a second, Hugo. Before we start broadcasting this wonderful material, we need to let viewers know that our content is 100% Canadian made with the hard efforts of the Canadian people. And anyone outside in some southern countries is going to need to, pay a little bit of fees and service charges.
No.
To enjoy this wonderful
Not
content.
yet.
No, Hugo. I don't care how many days are left, all right?
It's a tariff-free episode, damn it.
I don't give a shit.
We have a
all right?
month.
No.
We have almost a month.
Look, their weak-kneed president might be willing to flip-flop, all right? But I'm not. So you can Venmo us the 25% fee at our
Venmo account.
Venmo account.
You know, there's no Venmo in Canada.
Ice Station Zebra and Associates, and
but
yeah,
we're drinking only Canadian water and Canadian liquor. Actually, I think this one's from Jamaica, so it's okay as well.
Bastard. I'm drinking pure, unfiltered Toronto tap water.
It's filtered. No, it's very filtered.
You can really taste the sewage.
Wait, it's tariff-free at least.
It's tariff-free, baby.
That's all we care about.
And the ice imported from our glacial northern springs.
Not Alaska.
Nope.
We wanted it from Alaska.
Yes.
It's the superior ice.
Yes.
But we weren't about to support Alaska.
No.
Because you know what? They didn't come supporting us.
Well, we're supporting them. They're hanging off the side of our
you know what?
provinces.
I'm also not buying shit from Alberta.
Yeah.
Alberta can go lick a boot.
Yeah. What do they have? Oil? We use nuclear power. Nuclear.
You want to go to the States? Go.
Go. Who wants you? I don't.
We'll take Vermont.
Did you hear how Quebecers are more in support of Canadian Federation than ever now? They did a recent poll, and they're like, usually Quebecers' support of Canada is around like 38%. Now it's jumped up to like 53%.
Yeah, I think I heard something that was like, Canada has never been more politically unified.
Yep. So thanks, Donald, for bringing us closer together.
That's true. It really has. Or he really has.
He really has.
I haven't ever felt this patriotic about being Canadian
until
ever.
Someone spits on your country.
Yeah, and it's like, you know what? Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not going to... You really think we would just not want to be Canadian? Like we have no self-identity?
You know what? They want to be part of America.
I have a lot of friends in Canada. This would be really great for them. American military protection, because Russia's coming after Canada after,
oh my God.
after Ukraine.
You know he's pulling the same shit he pulled last term where he was like, I'm going to build a wall and I'm going to make Mexico pay for it. Now he's like, I'm going to increase border security and everyone else is going to fucking pay for it.
I mean, you know what? He has, if that really was his goal.
And it's working because we're committing to it.
It's worked. It's worked. If that was his goal, it's worked. And then it's like you kind of have to praise him for that.
Yeah.
If that really was his goal.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, it probably was. Because I don't think he was stupid enough to actually think that, he'd get Canada to sign on somehow with some next state.
No,
I don't think
fucking way.
He's dumb as fuck, but he's not that stupid and delusional, I think. No. And so, I don't know. I still think his goal was to just
increase border security.
That for sure, but to get a bunch of tariff money. Because that tariff money goes to the government. And,
which he's cutting the spending for, by the way. Or he's trying to.
Yeah. So it's just extra money.
Elon's doing it.
Elon's doing it, but did you hear how he wanted to stop federal funding for hospitals, for schools, for the judicial systems?
Yeah, who needs those?
Yeah, who needs them? And then he just the next day, they're like, sir, we need those to function as a country. And he's like, I'll give you 30 days, sort it out. It's fine. But then we're cutting you off.
Isn't Trump, or not Trump, his Tsar, Musk, isn't he not even elected to be in there yet? Doesn't he have to be elected to go in and get all access to this?
Well, he has to be sworn in or whatever.
I think that needs to go through Congress first.
Because I don't know, I read something about him having access to these like secret like files like from the payment systems and that he shouldn't have, which is just crazy. It's like why does this billionaire now have access to all this information on people's social security numbers?
It's fine, Hugo. He's gonna be in office. They're just jumping a few steps.
Yeah, why does a country who hates Russia have all these stars?
Hey, we got a czar too. We got a fentanyl czar now, man.
I know, what the hell?
Stop. Do we really?
We have a fentanyl czar.
Shit.
Yeah.
It's contagious.
Yeah.
You know what they say about communism?
Why couldn't it have been like a fentanyl deputy minister or something?
Like a deputy minister on the fentanyl crisis.
Yeah,
a
no,
long,
it's a czar.
bloated
Like,
title.
why?
No.
It makes no sense. Anyway, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining the show. Happy to be here. Happy that you're here. Sorry you missed last week. We were all sick.
We were all terribly ill. What's going on? Why is everyone sick now? We got our audience is sick. Our fucking producers are sick. Our hosts are sick. We're hosts.
We're sick of this shit.
We're hosts to a bunch of bacteria is what we're hosts
That
to.
is.
Stop. Did that take you all day? How long have you been sitting on that?
Let him have it. Let him have it. Don't ruin this for him.
Anyway.
We are hosts to a bunch of sick bacteria, and you're, as the audience, you're welcome
part of that.
to be part of that, and you really can't escape it regardless.
Exactly.
But
Well, welcome to our next episode.
This basically will just, at least today, I think is just going to be a strictly political episode.
Strictly political.
We're very political people.
Yes.
Now that Canada was thrown into the woes of tariffs, and
Not yet.
not yet.
Oh man, have you seen like what a lot of people are doing? There's like videos of people just like picking up packages of like fruit from like grocery stores, and as soon as they see US on it, they just throw it right to the fucking floor.
No, I haven't seen that. That's awesome.
Oh man.
I did see people like just hauling thousands of eggs from Costco because I guess they had a decent deal on it in the States.
They did. What? Oh fuck! Did you hear about how? Sorry.
This is going to be the whole episode. Have you heard this? Have you heard this?
All right. So, have you heard about all the salmonella eggs that are that happened? There's like there was like a bunch of eggs that were released like a few weeks ago, and they all had like salmonella. They had to be recalled.
But don't you just cook the salmonella out of it?
I think it was like on the outside of it, and like when you're handling it with raw hands. I think. But
Raw hands.
what happened? What happened?
Raw handing it.
Anyway, in some cities, or like I think it was like in Brampton or something. I can't remember, but they put up flyers saying, "Bring all your contaminated and recalled eggs. We're gonna have a huge fucking egg fight."
With salmonella eggs.
Yep. They're like, we gotta throw them out anyway. Might as well have a fucking egg fight.
Yeah, just try not to lick it off your face or off somebody else's face.
I mean, it could be the worst thing and like the best way to get like bacterial infection, but could also be a lot of fun.
It would be fun, but I'd still just make sure I wouldn't waste those eggs. I'd find some way to handle them with like, you ever hear of like gloves, nitrile gloves, latex gloves?
That's only available
If the
in
issue is
hospitals.
just on its shelf, then come on, there's ways around it.
Come on, just cook it to a good internal temperature. And you're
Was
golden.
it? Fuck, I forgot where I saw it. I think it might have been on some Instagram post, but they were raving about eggs being 40 cents, and this is American cents per
Holy
egg.
shit.
Like, that's not cheap.
Damn.
And that, like, they were like excited about that. I'm like,
What are you excited about?
I feel like a good price for eggs should still be about 25 cents
Per egg.
Canadian, which makes it like what, 17 cents American?
Yeah,
you
I'd
know,
say.
roughly. And so 40 cents, like, you guys are getting egg gouged out. It's crazy. But well, you know what's amazing to me is that most people in the States seem to think that tariffs mean that we're going to be paying 25% on everything we export. But like, no, that's just not how it works.
Nope.
It's the companies that are importing this shit that are going to be paying it.
Yeah.
Now, of course it affects us.
They're probably at some point going to pass those costs on to the customer.
Oh yeah, that's the thing that they don't realize is all of those costs, the companies aren't going to foot the bill
fuck
for
no.
that.
Fuck no.
It's
They
going
pass it
right,
on to us.
It's a pass-through cost. It goes right to the customer.
And it's not going to be 25%. It's going to be like 30%.
Probably more, yeah. like during COVID, that was something that a lot of grocers did.
Yep.
They took the amount that they had to raise and
Yep.
they raised it a bit more because
Yep.
who would know?
Yep.
And that's how they had record profits.
Yep. And then they also hide a lot of shit like
Unless you ask Galen Loblaw, then.
So something that my company did is they enacted a COVID surcharge on every like delivery that was made. And they justified this by saying our drivers need to take health and safety precautions. They have to wear personal protective equipment. They have to buy new tools and devices that allow them to do their job remotely without touching certain things. So this is to offset the cost of all of that, which was complete fucking bullshit.
I mean, got to make that loot. I saw Jono bring up that the fentanyl imports that America or Trump is so worried about coming from Canada. I did read this, that it was like 1% of the total fentanyl that goes into the States comes from Canada. That's how you know that it's all bullshit. That he doesn't actually give a flying fuck about fentanyl on the streets. And like the way he probably sees it, the scum dying to fentanyl. He doesn't care about that.
No,
You're
of
not
course
making
not.
him money.
No.
You
If
know?
you're not making the money, why should he
He
give a
cares
fuck?
about his billionaire buddies
Yeah.
and turning them into czars and
Getting a few more titles under their belts, which justifies a few more pay bumps.
and figuring out a way to cut as much money out of the working class as possible so that the billionaire class, which isn't even, it's beyond the upper class, keeps as much
What
of
the
it as
fuck are you
possible.
talking about? You're crazy. All that money he's gonna save, he's gonna give back to the people who voted him in. Did you see all the people at like the Trump?
Does he have like a registry and he's just going to give them money? And
Did
not
you
everyone
see
else?
like the
Like
people in
Santa
the inauguration ceremony? They're like, we're so excited for Donald Trump. We're so excited for all the people in the January 6th protest to be fully pardoned. And we are so excited to have him cut all this unnecessary spending and turn that money back to us. I'm excited to see $1,000 returns for everybody. I'm excited to see income taxes cut. Apparently, they're thinking about actually cutting out fucking income tax this year.
Well,
Altogether.
they want to go to a. That's why he wants to go to a tariff system. He's like,
To have them
we should have
pay
never
for
have gotten rid of tariffs.
Uh-huh.
We should have never
Yeah.
instituted income tax.
Uh-huh.
None of the economists agree. Economists.
Economics.
Yeah, they're predicting that the measures he's proposed are going to put them somewhere between a recession and a depression.
Yeah, 8.9% down in the GDP, and yeah, to put that in perspective, that's twice as much as the 2008 recession in terms of lower GDP. That's what what they're predicting with. Not, you know what though, the interesting thing is with that is that so out of that 8.9, only 2% reduction is coming from the tariffs.
That's it.
The rest of it is coming from mass deportation.
Oh man.
So that's 7%.
I can't wait to see like all the people who he is going to deport who do all these necessary jobs that other people just don't want to do, and how all his MAGA friends are just going to be lining up across the fucking street waiting to do those jobs that they never wanted to do to begin with.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're not.
No, they're not.
and-
You're going to
and
get rid of the people who do these jobs.
The
that keep your
companies
fucking
that
countries
employ
running.
these people, I mean, I think a lot of them would say, I mean, in my eyes, they were legal. I have all the paperwork required for them. They probably turn a blind eye to certain things. They could care less so long as they can get cheap labor. And that's the problem, is that the American people aren't going to want that pay. It's not that they wouldn't do those jobs. It's that they wouldn't do it for the pay that those companies can actually afford. And if they were to take those jobs and these companies had to pay the money that most Americans would want to do these jobs, well, guess what? Your prices of living are going up again. Nothing is getting cheaper here under this Trump administration. And that is what pisses me off, is that that's what it's seemingly the bulk of his voting people want and thought that he would do, is make living cheaper. But it's not going to be cheaper.
No,
I mean, more expensive for everybody.
it is.
The same economists predicted that under Harris's administration, the change would be like minus 0.1% to plus 0.1%. So no change to the economy.
No.
And then you think, well, that's not good either. But is it bad? Like maybe the economy was just fine, and the issues that a lot of Americans are seeing as part of an American issue with their economy are actually global issues that are kind of happening everywhere. Literally the same stuff that they're complaining about is what we're complaining about, is what England is complaining about. It's just happening worldwide. It's not your Justin Trudeau. It's not your sleepy Joe Biden, and it's not, I don't know who's running in Britain.
Macron in France.
Like, it's just what's happening. And really, I think what it is, it's billionaires taking too much. It's billionaires being greedy as fuck. And now in the States, you've gone ahead and basically put billionaires in power. What do you think is going to happen? At least in these other countries, like, they still let billionaires do some string pulling and controlling, but they're not literally in control.
You want to keep them in the shadows, away from the public eye.
They take their money still,
not up front,
but not right there where they're literally doing what they want and like cutting out trillions of dollars of government projects and grants and all these things that are necessary
just
because they deem it as inefficient government spending. Because that's what Musk does. He just, everything is inefficient spending. If I have to spend money on anything, it's inefficient.
Well, no, he's not going to like cancel any programs. He's just going to take over the programs. So whatever he had other companies doing, he's just going to axe those companies and just, oh no, we'll do it. I'll bring in my own company. We'll take care of it. It'll be cheaper.
That's the thing. It's creating an oligarchy is what's happening. We have a new class system. We have the disappearance of the middle class and a new class forming of these like millionaires and billionaires that are connected to corrupt government entities.
But some governments resist that somewhat. No government is fully resisting it.
No.
Unfortunately. But I do, like, now looking at it, it's like, well, at least some governments are resisting it more than the American government is right now. But yeah. As Jono says, where Luigi at? Get Luigi the bat signal. Get him out.
Get my boy Luigi back. Speaking of ICE deporting people, did you hear about how ICE tried to stop a Greyhound driver? So just like stop him in the road and then check all the people inside whether or not they were illegal immigrants. And the driver told the ICE agents to gargle his balls. He's just like, gargle my fucking balls, and he just kept driving.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, it's great.
I've never heard that.
No, because apparently they do that very frequently. They just pull
gargle some balls.
Ideally, they should, but no, they pull over these coach bus drivers, and then they just go in and they just do random spot checks to see if people have citizenship. And if they don't, then they fucking detain them. So this guy is just like, gargle my balls, and he just kept driving.
Sir, good day to you. I can't think of anything better to say like that. That's so good. Was there a video of that?
I don't think there was.
Oh, man.
So someone like legit.
I'm sure Greyhound has a video of it because like there's cameras on all their.
I think they're trying to implement a strategy or just like a company-wide policy of, we do not let these people on to perform just random checks. Like, you can't do that. If they are on the bus, then they are like, they can only be checked by our agents. If there's anyone like with that Greyhound like pays to do like security, then they can go on the buses. But since it's private property, they're like, no, fuck off.
So since we don't have a video of it, I'm assuming some poor journalist had to quote him.
Yeah, I think so. But it was pretty great. I read that and I was like, oh, that really perked me up today. So there are still heroes out there, and they are like the small ones who,
don't wear capes.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah. There's a lot of really great American people still.
Oh, no, definitely. There's a lot of hardworking people.
More than the majority even. Because even a lot of the Republicans are now realizing what they've done and that they kind of, to stress having a Republican Party in power, they forgot that not just any leader is actually a Republican leader. Because I don't even classify. I mean, yes, he's a Republican leader, of course, but
he's a capitalist.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. by like what his actual platform is, it's more just straight capitalism, and he's a businessman, and he doesn't actually have Republican values in mind. And
No, he's got pure money interests in mind.
Yeah.
Case in point, did you hear about his latest Gaza policy?
Oh, I saw something about that, but I didn't dive into it.
Clear it out and turn it into a resort. That's what he wants to do.
oh my god,
That's what he said.
I didn't
He
know it
wa-
was that. I heard him say that he's gonna fix the issue.
Yeah.
But then that he would remove the conflict, but
Yep.
then that it would be American land.
He wants to turn it into a resort.
Of course he does,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be a
Oh
Trump
my
resort.
Yep, that's what he wants to
Making
do.
Trump, like, how is this shit not like a conflict of interest?
So, and did you hear how like every other government in the world is like, are you fucking insane? Your country has been backing a two-state solution for the past 80 years. What the fuck are you doing now? And then all the other Republicans are like, well, I think that we need to do some more research on the issue first before we enact a policy. They're all just like stopping short of calling him fucking batshit crazy.
It would be,
But everyone's just trying to backpedal it so
Yeah.
fucking much. Oh,
I
man.
think it's a bad time to be a Republican. I would actually, like, if I had to pick any extreme side, I think being a Democrat right now is way cooler, because Republicans are like, fuck, what do we do? Like, this is crazy. We don't even like this. But, we can't say it.
You can't say it.
Especially, like, the actual Republican Party leaders, like, they can't just go out and speak against him.
No. Now that he's made this whole like, we stand as a united front, a united line, you can't like go out in turn because that weakens us.
Sounds
And-
pretty dictatory.
Yeah, just a little bit.
There's a video I'm going to try to find for after the break. Of it's a comparison video of Obama addressing, I think it was the plane crash over the Hudson River, the one with Tom Hanks in it.
Tom Hanks. Oh yeah, where he landed the plane.
Yeah. It's real life, right?
Versus what happened in Philadelphia a little while ago.
No, in Washington just now
Was
with
it
with the Black Hawk
Oh,
and the passenger plane.
oh, that.
And
okay.
and Trump
Yeah.
addressing that,
Oh.
and it's just so fucking callous. Like you could tell he is absolutely dead inside and has no fucking soul, in the way that he's like, this shouldn't have happened.
I've seen helicopters and airplanes fly. They fly at two different elevations. Who's
No,
piloting these things?
He literally said like a helicopter can stop on a dime, turn around. It's very nimble. I don't understand how this happened. It must not have anything to do
Oh,
with me
man.
firing like half of the top FAA brass and causing chaos in Washington air traffic control tower.
Oh, actually, he was blaming the Democrats' hiring policies, saying because they have so many immigrants working in air traffic control, that was what the issue was.
Right.
That's what he was saying
Because,
initially.
man, do you actually believe that immigrants are somehow inferior to you? Like, the only thing that would make any logical sense would be like a lack of understanding of the language. But man, I'm sure like every single Mexican or any other immigrant coming to the States that's working at a job like that speaks perfectly fluent English, and probably better than a lot of
Better than Trump.
Yeah.
first English speakers in America.
A lot of immigrants are the more patriotic out of other American citizens. They are the ones who come from these countries where they don't have the freedoms that you do have in
So
America.
they come here and appreciate it.
Yes.
Now they're like, wow, it's all being taken away. I'm like, what the fuck? This isn't what my parents came here for. It's not what I came here for.
Uh-huh. I mean, the ideal scenario is you bring people over who appreciate the values, and then they want to promote those values as well.
They planned this whole thing from day one, says Jono.
Did you also hear about how...
Please, the Gestapo much. Yeah, exactly.
Did you also hear about how the helicopter pilot for the Black Hawk, she was a Biden aide at one point?
No.
And now that's becoming like a big conspiracy where they're saying like, oh, she, like the Biden, the Democrats, they engineered this whole fucking thing.
Such bullshit, man. Well, I don't know the full details, and I don't think anyone does.
So
The
disrespectful.
report's
Yeah.
not coming out for like a year potentially.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen and heard, it was a training flight, which means you have a pilot that, well, obviously they have a fully like licensed and certified pilot there as well. But I think there was in the recordings, the air traffic control says to keep visual distance from this passenger plane.
Right.
And I think there was just a confusion on the helicopter pilot as to which plane that was. In the video, you see a plane kind of take off, and I think that plane is maybe what the helicopter pilot had eyes on, and not the plane that was landing. But it's certainly, no matter what, was not a fucking like
conspiracy
theory to try and make Biden look bad or something like that, or to try to make Trump look bad. Like, that's just ridiculous. Because if anything really did cause it, it was Trump. Obviously, you can't say that. Allegedly, whatever. I'm protecting myself. But like, nobody's gonna know until this report is out.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's all hearsay anyway. But like, if I had to put my blame on anything, it would be that. Because there were real actions against the FAA. Yeah. And suddenly you have the first mid-air collision in the U.S. in 16 years. So I don't know. Is it a coincidence? I don't know.
We have to wait for the report.
The other crazy thing was we were talking about, the immigrants being the issue. Can you believe that these like companies that have been so democratic and progressive, and like Google and Facebook, and now that there's a Republican leader like Trump, they're all trying to suck his dick. They're all trying, like Zuckerberg is getting Dana White into Meta to try and give him a backbone because he obviously knows that he aligns politically with Trump. And Google is like hugely reducing their funding for diversity programs and inclusion programs. It's like, you were all about that. And now you're just going to take 17 steps backwards because of a different administration. Nothing matters to these companies, man.
Just the bottom line.
It's all the bottom line. It's all money. What's going to make them most profitable? When they do these things to be inclusive, they do it because they see it generating a profit, because they'll look good, and people will be like, that's a good company.
Yeah.
You know,
you see it every June with companies all of a sudden like getting all the pride flags out everywhere.
It's just like, look, just as people, can you just not understand? And I think most people do, that's all companies are doing. They don't actually care about you.
They don't give a shit about
when
you.
Disney puts out a movie that seems really inclusive,
they don't give
diverse,
a shit about
you. Do not give a flying. You know how I know they don't? Because in the other markets where that shit isn't cool,
they scrub it right out the internet.
Like in China,
no like gay pilots kissing at the end of Star Wars.
And Disney's just like, no, we hate that too. Just cut that shit right out. Sorry, we don't even know how it slipped in there.
Oh, that's right. It's not Taiwan. It's Taipei.
So look, that's big facts right there. If you're listening to this podcast right now and you weren't aware of that, now
if you weren't aware that companies are just exploiting your good feelings to make a profit and a better image out of themselves,
this is huge facts, huge news, guys. Like potentially for people. We need everyone to take seriously. That's a big point. It is. Companies do not have your best interest in mind. No. They could give a shit. No. They're only caring about how much money they can generate out of you, and that's it. And then when you put basically these giant companies like Elon Musk's Tesla Works and Infinity War, Starlink internets in power, you're only gonna get more of that.
Oh no, but we don't have a Starlink anymore in Ontario.
No, and you know that's great and all, but you know what he did immediately? He raised all Cybertruck and probably other Tesla vehicles up by 10% to try and make up the difference for that $100 million contract that he was gonna get in Ontario for Starlink. So and the crazy thing is, like, I just wish people would just stop buying his fucking shitty cars, because then that raise in price wouldn't do anything. It wouldn't mitigate any problem, and you would still be down those $100 million. And you think that doesn't matter, but it does to a fucking vapid piece of shit like him that only cares about money
and his
$100 million and his fake Diablo 4 account. $100 million contract is big money, especially because when you factor in what that means in the long run, beyond that contract. And I know that means a lot because a couple of years ago, did you hear about how Bud Light got into this whole fiasco for having a transgender
Yeah, I remember.
personality on their TikTok ads.
Yep, I remember.
Only their TikTok ads.
I remember.
And
I saw.
everybody lost their shit. Kid
Yep.
Rock started shooting
Yep.
Bud Light bottles, and all the other Republicans started firing.
Sales actually increased right afterwards for a very short period, but that was because people were buying the beer only to destroy it on the internet. Just to make viral videos of it. But then Anheuser-Busch sales plummeted, and they've been only slowly recovering.
But, well, here's the thing. So Trump at the time was talking shit about Anheuser-Busch and saying you shouldn't be buying them. They don't represent America. Recently, his tune changed 180 degrees.
Oh, what happened?
And you kind of wonder why. Like, what changed? Why is he all of a sudden trying to promote Bud Light again or Anheuser-Busch? And it was found out that just 2 days before that, they gave him a whopping,
Oh, dear.
guess how much?
I don't know. 150 million?
$10,000
Oh.
donation to his campaign.
Oh.
10 grand to a motherfucker like Trump
I mean,
was enough to change his tune. Just like that.
That
So-
is the most that a company can give to somebody running.
Well, it doesn't matter because that still means that he changed his fucking tune over 10 grand. It doesn't matter. Like, the point is, it was enough for him to be like, okay, no, you know what? Yeah, Anheuser-Busch is a great American company, and we should all be buying their product. And he tweeted that for $10,000. Like,
He's a slut.
it's
He's
nothing.
a money slut.
He's open for business.
So $10,000 was enough to make all that difference in Trump's little heart. Then you better believe that $100 million for a guy like Musk is a significant wound.
Yep.
I do not believe Trump has a heart.
Well, and the reason I say this too is because Musk he tweeted on the day that Ford said that they were going to cancel that Starlink contract. He was like, he tweeted, "Oh well," as if to say, like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, right.
But then why did you raise the fucking Cybertruck vehicles prices by 10%?
Don't worry about that.
In Canada.
Don't worry about that.
Obviously it hurt because you're like, okay, scrambling to try and figure out how you can get that money back. So look, everyone listening to this fucking podcast, which I know is everybody, don't buy those vehicles, especially in Canada. If you're in Canada, I don't care if you're in the States, go buy whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
But if you're in Canada, don't buy them because he's looking to make those $100 million from Canada, the Canadian market specifically, especially in Ontario. Fuck Musk.
I just hate how the name Tesla is now being associated with
I know.
this fucking disgusting money-grubbing fucking shitheel.
That-
When the real Tesla just hated any kind of private industry and wanted to
Exactly.
make electricity free for everybody, to just be like the benefit for all mankind and fuck the profit. And he hated people who tried to exploit his inventions specifically for either profit or military applications.
Big facts. Another big fact. So if you haven't heard of this, is big news.
Yeah.
Coming straight from the huge podcast. This is very true. But
Poor Tesla. He's shocked in his fucking grave.
yeah, dude. If he was, if he could see this shit, he'd be like, "What the fuck? Fuck this guy. He's absolutely the entire opposite of what he stood for."
Yeah. Man would be rolling in his grave.
Yeah, dude. And then this
If
guy's
he could fucking
he's
afford
walking
it.
around parading that name as if it's synonymous. Well, it is synonymous with innovation and science and technology.
Now on the worst level.
He's wearing that like it's his.
Yeah.
Like people think he's Elon Tesla Musk. And he has literally no relations. He just stole that name. I know it's just a name and anyone can use a name. But
Yeah.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
That he's doing that with Tesla specifically. Could have been any other name. Why didn't you do Bell?
Newton.
Newton. Because it's electricity. Why didn't he do what's his name? The other guy.
AC/DC.
No. Yeah, the guy who did the direct current. What's his name? He killed the elephant on the
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
what's his name?
I'll look it up.
Fuck.
AC/DC.
Mark Twain.
AC/DC guy.
Elephant killer.
Elephant killer.
Elephant electric killer. Oh man, what was that elephant's name? It was like Daisy or Tipsy or something. Did you? It was like the saddest story about that elephant too.
Thomas Edison.
Thomas Edison. Thank you. Did you hear the story about that elephant? Like he wanted to demonstrate
Topsy.
Topsy. So Topsy was just like a circus elephant, and she was very badly handled by her human trainers and owners. She was abused, she was neglected, she was starved, and then obviously she started getting aggressive. And they thought, oh, we need to kill her. We need to fucking put her down.
Oh,
so
this is horrifying.
what they wanted to do initially was to get a big fucking chain on a crane and hang her until she fucking suffocated. And then the American Association Against the Cruelty of Animals, whatever the fuck they're called at the time, said, no, that's too cruel. And then they said, what if we just get an electric plate and shock her to death on that? And they said, that is perfectly humane. And then that's what they did. They killed this.
They already shocked people to death anyway.
They killed this elephant on an electrified panel. And then that same Society Against the Cruelty to Animals said there was no more humane way to do this ever. That was the most humane way to do it.
They did poison her first.
Oh.
That's terrible, man.
And it was a public. This wasn't.
Yeah,
a
it was
private
on
event,
public
it was
too.
public.
People paid money to see this shit.
Jamimi, welcome to the show. Very happy to have you here. Surprised that wasn't blocked, but it's because it's Hilter.
Yes.
My brain corrected that to something else.
Hilter, yeah. This is a very off-Hilter episode. Yes.
It's a little angry if you're just joining us. It's
Yes.
a little political.
Let's turn it to something fun. Since we're talking about Trump, if you guys got the Discord running, I put a nice little funny video up that we can all laugh at, and you know,
I'm down for that.
Hold on, Hugo.
well,
I gotta
just give me
say,
a second.
I think my Trump impersonation is now fucking dead. I can't compete with
this guy.
With this guy. Emily, pull it up on the big screen.
All right, give me a second. Oh, Hugo, it's not working.
Oh dear.
The browser is not coming.
Oh,
The
no.
browser's not coming on.
Okay, so
Oh, wait, I got it. I know why.
Okay.
I'll fix it for you.
Okay, so funny story. That was a funny story.
Brasco, tell us a funny story.
Okay,
Tell us a funny story.
let's see. I had a very delicious dinner today. I had a tuna melt, which is I think probably the second time I've ever had warm tuna on a fucking sandwich, and it was quite good. I actually not a big fan of warm fish on a sandwich. I just think it tastes weird. I think it should be like cold or maybe room temperature. But this time we had it with cheese and buttered bread. I gotta say, that son of a bitch was so goddamn tasty.
Wow.
Warm tuna does not sound good. Yes, thank you, Jono. I'm glad you agree. Like fish in general, fish is good. Fish is good. Like, you know, and you can toast it. It's fine. Or like you can, you know, pan fry it, or you can air fry it, or you can even deep fry it, and it's great. But just like warm tuna in general, I don't know, not my favorite. But this time, pretty fucking good. Just make sure to season your tuna well. Put some onions in there. Put some jalapenos and some red peppers. Put a little bit of salt and pepper, some chili flakes. It's gonna turn out great. Give that motherfucker a spin. I'm running out of material here, guys.
All right, we're gonna try. Nope. Drasco, tell us about your week.
My week has been okay. The weather's been weird.
Tell us about the weather.
Oh shit, it's been a while. So, the weather has been fucking all over the goddamn place. It's been snowing finally in the fucking new year. Hadn't had barely any fucking snow for all of December. Now all of a sudden it's coming in and it's cold, and then at one point it's raining, and now it's actually not bad. It's like, what is it, 1 degree, 0 degrees? It's pretty fucking good. But yeah, sorry to hear about fucking Florida covered in goddamn snow, and
I'm not.
Texas as well.
It's us fighting back.
I mean,
Canada coming at you.
oh shit, yeah, that's actually good. But I feel bad for all the people who have, like, in Florida, no idea how to fucking live with the snow. There's actually like videos of beaches that are normally just covered in sand. Now they're covered in fucking snow.
Crazy.
I know. And like a lot of people who have animals and pets in Texas and Florida, they're just getting their dogs out for the first time seeing snow, and all these videos of like dogs just like freaking out because they don't know what snow is, and they're like having fun and palling around.
That's so cute.
That is like the best thing that came out of this horrible climate change is just like the animals having fun in the snow.
Yeah.
But beyond that. Yes.
What else, Drasko? How's work been?
Work's been a pain in my ass, but I mean, what else is new? Well, just like Hugo was saying, my company doesn't give two fucking shits about me, but they want to make sure they're always sending out these wonderful little surveys for us every fucking month. You know, how is your employee satisfaction? Is there anything that we can do to make, you know, your day better? How are you overall? And I think overall, everyone's just saying, just give us fucking like food. So like when we come into the office, we don't have to worry about fucking breakfast. It's like some of the most simple fucking shit. But no, sorry, we can't afford that. We want to know how your processes are, you know? Are you working well with the AI implements that we have put into your workplace? Is that working well for you? No, Hugo, it's not, because our AI is fucking trash and doesn't do anything.
Where did you get it from? Or are you developing your own AI?
We're developing our own. We're keeping it in-house and hiring a whole new slew of fucking AI people to come in and work on it, to have something that's inferior to whatever else is available on the market right now. So we can pay for the licensing, which would probably be less than like the 3 new fucking executives that we had to hire on.
Yeah.
And for them to like give us a 5-year window to develop something that it's going to work like shit.
It would only be worth it if you were then going to sell that software to other companies. If you're just using it in-house. Like,
they're using it in-house. That's it.
Wait, what are they using it for though? Like predictive modeling or?
They haven't specified because it's still in development, so they haven't said anything. All that they've given us is the ability to summarize emails.
I was gonna say, like, ChatGPT does most of that, and like you can make your own GPT that's like specifically programmed for what you want to do.
Yep.
You don't have to hire anybody. You just talk to the robot.
Crazy.
Nope, sorry. We'd rather spend the money on it to get these people like hired to work on it. But, you know, we don't want to give any actual money to, say, improving the health plan that our employees have, or maybe, you know, giving them some nice things to come to work for, like, I don't know, like lunches or breakfasts in the morning, so people can, you know, not worry about bringing something in to eat while they're in the office. We can provide that for you. That would increase morale. That would increase my morale.
And it would save you some time, too, right?
It would save me a lot of time if I can have something besides fucking, like, Timmy's Donuts that somebody fucking brings in. Like, great, sugar. This is going to help me in my job where I have to sit for 8 hours a fucking day.
Yeah, it's so crazy that they do that, because like a bunch of sugar is just going to make you, maybe more productive for like 45 minutes, but then the rest of the day you're in like a crash.
Yep.
But then I guess like if they brought in, because then their alternative, if it's not sugar, and then it's like some garbage, like what they think is healthy, which is like raw carrots, mushrooms, and spinach with the vinaigrette.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you want it healthy. It's like, there's stuff in between that.
Yes.
You know, like that is tasty and people will actually want, and is healthy.
From the donut to carrot spectrum.
I know, yeah.
It's the extremes on both sides.
Exactly. It's like they only know those two things. Like every time I've been somewhere with like corporate catering, it's always like, donuts and chocolate chip muffins, and then for the people that want to be healthy, it's like raw veggies and like some ranch dip or a vinaigrette. Hey, have fun. We got the bases covered.
And then when they're planning lunch for everyone, it's always fucking Subway sandwiches. Make sure to bring the vegetarian options, though. Give them the fucking veggie subs, which is just fucking bag lettuce and tomatoes. That's it.
You can't please everyone, sure, but you don't have to be on both extremes of like these two, you know, the two food areas of the spectrum.
Yeah.
You know, there's things in between that you could bring, like, I don't know, like a lentil curry.
Yeah.
Or like just like roasted potatoes with chicken and like a Greek salad or something. People love that shit with like tzatziki or something.
Yeah.
And that's still healthy, not donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's a bit more expensive, but that's what we're talking about here. Is instead of spending the money developing fake AI, maybe put that into things that would really help your employees.
Yeah.
Like you're reinventing the wheel. Someone's already done it, dude.
Yeah.
Like hire one intern to help you write a GPT. And, like you're good for $15 an hour.
Instead of being like, ooh, we can write our own artificial intelligence.
No.
Yeah, as if this was easy to develop.
No, they're gonna hire. Three new executives.
That's so crazy.
Executives.
Yeah.
Wait, but like I'm really trying to figure out what you're using AI for based on what your company does.
They haven't.
I can't understand.
They haven't like we don't do anything that will require AI. We deliver fucking massive quantities of industrial gases. That's it.
I love that you sell air. Like,
That's
that
it.
makes
No,
me so happy.
That's it. I fucking sell air. The shit you're breathing, I bottle it and I sell it to you.
It's
That's
like a
what I
snake
do.
oil salesman.
Well, we do it. People fucking pay for it. Otherwise, I'll be out of a job. And what do we need AI for? I'm sure I don't know. Because like, there's like things that you could think of to be like, how much could a potential customer use? They already have programs to figure that shit out. You don't need an AI model. And like most companies, like they already know, like, let's say like, oh, you're a hospital. Like, yeah, they already have like other hospital records to kind of see what the trend is. And then they just base everything off of like previous customers. There's nothing new that can possibly come up or happen.
So what scares me is that I can't think of anything that makes sense for your company to do in addition to what you already do.
Yeah.
What it sounds like they're doing is writing AI to replace people.
Absolutely. That is going to be one of their biggest things. It's going to be, why should we hire somebody to perform these jobs and tasks when we can just have an AI that will perform it better and faster for me? Why the fuck do I have to give Drasco a 1 week period for him to get me this fucking report when I can just, type it in on my fucking laptop and have it delivered to me instantly?
That's the thing. Like they could run the company without like 70% of the employees.
Oh, absolutely. And that money will then just go to the executives.
Yeah, exactly.
And to the millionaires. That's it.
Shareholders, if they have it, if it's privately traded. I don't know if it is, but
yeah.
This all reminds me of a really good show that we're watching that I think you'd like, especially if
Severance.
You like,
yeah. I already know the one.
It's so good.
You can't, Hugo, cancel your Apple TV subscription. It's fucking American, man. Keep it in fucking Canada.
None of the good ones are Canadian.
That's the point. There is no good Canadian content. Canadian. What do we got? Trailer Park Boys?
Well, it's not even the
CBC
content. We just don't have any good Canadian streaming platforms.
Oh, you have CBC Gem. It's loaded with more fucking commercials than you can possibly need, man. What are you fucking talking about?
CBC like Gem has like the worst programming in the fucking world. They always try to make it overly Canadian because it's the only way they can get it funded is if it's like super Canadian
content,
and then it's like
they sit out in the prairies.
Yeah, it's always like Canadian meaning rural Canada.
Yeah,
which I know represents a lot of people, but
there's nothing there.
Doesn't represent even the majority of Canadians because the majority of Canadians are living in like
the southern part of Canada
that don't really, I don't know, reflect with those shows. I don't know. And look, nothing wrong with them, but like, why can you not just have like normal, fun, mainstream programming?
No.
Why does it always have to be so Canadian?
Because
it to get funded? Because
that's the only, like, you can't have like, make a show like Dune in Canada and that be considered. You can't have it written by Canadian writers and then acted by Canadian actors.
Well, they could do it, but they have to make it into a Canadian show.
It has to be like representative in Canada. Yeah. So that's the thing. You have to shackle whatever you're writing in Canada.
That's the bullshit. That's why all of these programs suck. That's why we don't have our own like strong content platforms.
Yeah.
Because of that.
That's it.
Severance. Yeah, it's an American show and totally represents American like corporate culture, but it's not like that. That wasn't the impetus for telling that story and that premise of the show. The premise is the severed minds.
Yeah,
like,
yes.
I
know.
It's not just like we're American.
Yeah,
we're gonna be American.
If it was
Watch
Canadian,
us be American
it would
now.
be somehow Canadian involved severed minds, and that premise would take a backseat to the Canadian premise.
Yes,
that it happens
Canada.
in like Manitoba, in Thompson, Manitoba, or something. And like I don't know, it would suck.
Yes,
and nothing against the people working in Canada, the creatives in Canada.
Yeah.
It's just these politics that force them, like you said, they shackle them to these Canadian virtues that make it for bad programming, bad TV, bad film.
They had the thing, and I can't remember if it was the Second City. It was like the Canadian version of Saturday Night Live, and it was done all in Canada, Canadian writers, Canadian actors. And then at one point, CBC comes in. They're like, "Hey, if you guys want to continue getting money, you have to do Canadian content." And they're like, "What the fuck is more Canadian than what we're doing right now?" And then they're like, "What the fuck do you want us to do? Dress up in fucking hockey outfits, sit here with bad Canadian accents and talk about shitty things in Canada?" And CBC goes, "Yeah." And that's what they did. They made a fucking skit about these two fucking yahoos who sit there in fucking Canadian hockey jerseys, and they're like, "Hey buddy, yeah, how's it going, eh?" and that's it. That was and they did it as a fucking joke. But that was the point. Like, what the fuck is more Canadian than what they're doing right now?
But then at least they still made that funny, right? Like, if
they
it's
made
poking fun at
they made it. But
thing.
now it's not a joke anymore. Now it's like, no, you have to take fucking Thompson, Manitoba and make your whole show fucking revolve around it. Like, how the fuck are you going to do that?
Like, Trailer Park Boys worked, but it wasn't because it was Canadian.
Yeah.
It was like, it was the dynamic between the people in the show. And it was like the things that they were super happy about are things that most people would be like, really? You're happy about grade 10 learning, or you're happy about $8 kind of like the
$8 chicken
nuggets? Like, they're so happy about this stuff. I think that's what was like charming and endearing. It wasn't that they were Canadian. They happen to be Canadian.
Yes.
And the show is a classic, but that show wouldn't have happened on CBC.
No.
It happened on Showcase.
Yes. Where they would allow that a little bit more like racier content.
They were racier, they were edgier.
They could say fuck.
Yeah. Showcase, especially back in those days, that was like the golden era of Showcase. It was amazing.
Yep.
But that's not representative of most Canadian TV programming. And you'd think that at this point they'd have learned their fucking lesson, but I still see stuff come from CBC Gem, and it's just like, you haven't. This is like, all of the stuff that's coming out is so Canadian. It's just like,
it's painfully fucking Canadian.
I don't care that much.
No.
You know? I don't know. Anyway, Severance is a good show. Definitely, if people haven't checked out Severance, last week or last time we were talking about Silo. Silo's great. Severance is another good one. I think everyone would appreciate.
Yes,
especially people that have like jobs in the corporate world.
Oh yeah,
because you would see all those like corporate niceties for what they are.
I actually did see it where they have their fucking like their egg benefit show or like whatever the fuck it is, like
their little egg table, and then
God.
they have like the 5-minute dance party.
Yeah,
that like if you have to watch one scene, just look up the jazz scene in I think it was end of season one, I think.
Yeah,
it's so good. And then at the end, well, I guess I can't spoil it.
No, but that is what corporate life is. They do all these wonderful little things where they're like, oh, we're like a family. We're like all like together in on this. And like, they really don't give a shit. It's like the bare minimum of what they can do to like keep everyone happy.
Yeah, it's literally the bare minimum. Like, not a dime more.
Nobody fucking enjoys it. Nobody fucking enjoys it.
They're laughing along, and they try to enjoy it because they want to have a good time with their colleagues. But at the same time, they recognize that it's such bullshit that's what the company is trying to do, trying to make it like a good time for them by doing literally nothing.
I have actually one colleague, and she knows this, and she purposefully, anytime that they have like these like meetings or like gatherings or something, or like when our bosses tell us like, hey, we're gonna have this mandatory meeting, she always speaks up and she's like, so what kind of treats are you guys bringing? And everybody just kind of giggles a little, and she's like, no, I'm serious. You're making us sit on this mandatory thing. What kind of food are you bringing for us to eat? And a lot of times she does get her way. She bullies her way into getting us like treats and
That's
snacks.
good.
It's nothing like, amazing. It's not like the chicken supper that we were talking about. It's usually just like cookies or donuts, but it's free.
It's still something.
And to her, it's like, it's always a win to be like, fuck them. They have enough money.
Yeah.
They can give us, they want us there. Then give me something that makes me want to be there.
Yeah, and it's probably, it wasn't a big fight for her to speak up about it.
No. She's got like, she's like unapologetically like just in your face about it.
That's awesome.
She's just always like, no, what are you getting us? Or whenever there's like a holiday coming up, she's always like, so we can leave early tomorrow, right? She's always pushing for that. Like no matter what, she's always just like, so we have a half day tomorrow, right? Because we have a day off Friday. That means Thursday's a half day, right? And my boss is just like, well, and she's like, okay, if we finish everything, we can log off early, right? And he's just like, yeah, I guess. And she's like, okay, great, thank you. Like she's always pushing for that. It's like,
That's good for her.
it's great.
Everyone should be like that, because otherwise she's going to get singled out and they're going to start hating her specifically when literally she speaks for everyone and everybody is happy. I'm sure all the employees are happy for what she does, right?
Yeah.
But I was going to say, Jono was wondering about what the type of humor is. And I think that's actually a fair assessment because if you watch the trailer, it looks like a comedy. Mm-hmm. When I first saw the trailer, I was like, I don't know. It's a comedy about like office life.
Yeah.
This is not the first thing.
Guess what? They already have a show about it. I can't remember what it's called, but it's about office life, you know?
And even John was like, is it like The Office?
Yeah.
And that is kind of what you start to think. And so it's not that appealing, but it really is more of a drama.
Yeah.
And the humor really is like a secondary
yes.
to the plot development and to the actual show as a whole.
There are definitely funny parts.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
there are.
yes.
And it's so well written.
There's a lot of really good humor, but I wouldn't classify it as a comedy in any way.
No. There are like, I guess like dark comedy is like it's a very popular thing to say where it's just like you have tense elements, but then you also be funny. It's just like, oh, it's a dark comedy.
Yeah.
It's like an easy term to throw out.
Dark comedy.
What is a dark comedy, Hugo?
I don't know. Babies always come up whenever somebody says dark comedy.
Baby shoes never worn. It's apparently like the saddest phrase.
Oh, I just realized it.
Baby shoes never worn.
Well,
you were a monster. You laughed, Hugo.
Well, I didn't think about it. I just wanted to make you feel happy. I laughed at your sick, twisted, dark jokes. And on that sad note, we're going to go on a break. And
we can take a little bit of a break.
Rinse our mouths and eyes from that in our ears.
I'd love to rinse my nose out with this lovely smell that's wafting.
You could maybe gargle something.
And all right, get yourselves a snack. Top up your drinks. If you're having an Earl Grey with some lay.
Earl Grey,
French
get
milk.
yourself some.
It might be too late for that because there's caffeine in it.
Get yourself some Canadian tea made with Canadian cows.
Yeah, beer, milky beer. Have yourself a Canadian milk stout.
Beer. Yes,
and we'll
get your ass back here. All right,
a few minutes time.
Yeah. Well, hi there. Welcome back to the post-intermission point of the Huge Podcast. I'm your narrator and DJ for the evening, Dr. D. Rasco. That's me. So I had to fucking fire Hugo and Emily. They just, they wouldn't let me make the show what I wanted it to be, which is just a free-form discussion about all the video games that I like, the first 6 seasons of The Simpsons, and why I think fried chicken isn't really all that hype and isn't really the best food. So I'm free to take your calls, whatever you want to send me messages about.
What does that have to do? What does fried
you know
chicken
what,
have to do with video
Hugo?
games?
You are supposed to be underneath the fucking stairwell right now. I guess we can go back to the old format for now.
Tell us about the video game things you want to talk about. The video games
what?
you like. Tell me all about it.
I've been playing.
Let me guess. You like Balatro.
No, actually, I've seen it, but I haven't played it.
It's the hottest game of the year.
I know it is. It's just like poker,
It's
but
poker with magic.
I know.
Okay.
No, man, I play the original Magic.
Do you want something more revolutionary? Have you heard of Diablo 4?
Have you heard of Dance Dance Revolutionary?
I'm not doing any other type of revolutions. Not wild.
George doesn't shut up about Balatro. Is that true?
It is actually true.
Can we get some fact checking on
It's
that?
true. He was telling me too to get Balatro, to get Arcade. He never tells me to get any subscriptions, but he's like, "Yeah, you should get Apple Arcade because then you get Balatro included with it."
Wow.
And I was like, "What's Balatro?" He said,
Yeah.
"It's only the hottest game ever."
It is hot, and a lot of people do enjoy it. No, man, I'm not playing that right now. What I'm playing is the Pokemon trading card game. It's free if you have an iPhone or something.
With
smartphone.
digital cards?
Yes, digital cards.
Digital
Hugo.
Pokemon cards?
Digital Pokemon
How do you collect
cards.
them? And how is this different than Pokemon Go?
Well, in Pokemon Go, you have to walk around and then you catch the Pokemons on your screen. In this one, you get a free pack every 12 hours. And then you open the pack, and then you get 5 cards. And
You play with other players?
yeah,
you just play against?
You play with other players. You can play with AI if you don't want to play other players. The game is broken where like you get like 2 or 3 specific cards, and then you build your deck around them, and then it's just you can wipe the floor with everyone because certain cards they have effects that stack better with other cards, and then if you get all 3 or 4 of them that work very well in a good synergy together, your deck is just unbeatable. But in order to get those cards, like the really good ones are rare, so you have a small chance of pulling them out of your card draws. You can pay money to get more decks or like more packs that you can open. They have like a new card trading system between players, but everybody hates it because there's so many rules behind it. And you can't like put out saying like, "Oh, I want this card." You can only offer a card to trade, and then another person can only offer you another card of equal value, and then you both either agree or you disagree. There's no actual chat at all. So if you and me are friends, I can't say, "Hugo, I want your Pikachu." No, you just have to like put up a card. I'm like, "No, I don't want your fucking Pidgey. Get it out of here."
That sounds lame.
Yes, it is. But I'm playing that. And Grace enjoys it as well because I let her pick my decks. So she's looking forward to every opportunity to pull 5 more duplicate cards that I already have.
Now, if can you play against Grace, or is it always random?
No, you can play against like if I add her as a friend, then I can play against her. Yes, specifically.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know about paying money for it. It's a horrible fucking way. Because like you're just paying money for the chance of like pulling cards that you don't know what the fuck you're getting.
Yeah.
Like I'll pay the money if I know what I'm gonna get is gonna be the fucking Charizard card, but there's no guarantee you're gonna get it. So you're just paying money for like loot boxes basically,
But
which I'm not a fan of.
Well,
No, Hugo, it's not just no, fuck that. That's bullshit.
Well, I was just going to say, people pay. It's the same concept with the real cards, but I guess with the real cards, at least you have real cards.
Yeah, you do have the real cards, which is on this, they're just digital. So you can lose them. Or like they can just decide to discontinue using that card, and then it's gone.
Or the game could just go totally off the shelves.
The game can just shut down at any point. If enough people stop playing it, well, that's it. That's
gone.
it. Hope you had fun. Thanks for the money, losers.
It's just gone.
Yeah.
Gone forever.
Yeah. That's that.
Well, that sounds like a good time. Emily and I have been playing, what's it called? Japanese Rural Country Living?
Oh, yeah. Balatro.
Balatro in Japan.
What's this all about? Oh, no. Hold on. I'm going to guess what this is. You guys have a little hillside village. You got a little Shiba Inu pet that's living there. Hugo is a fisherman. And Emily works out in the rice paddies all day.
It's not too far off. You're
Damn right.
It's,
Stereotypes pay off again, baby.
It's a lot like Stardew Valley.
Okay. Except everything is Japanese.
Yeah.
So we're appealing to those Asian fetishist fucks who just want to live in Japan.
Those cozy games lend themselves perfectly to a Japanese backdrop.
Yes.
It's so cozy.
And that's what people like about Balatro. It's so cozy.
It's not a cozy game. That's like, I don't know what it's like, but I'm assuming it's, crazy and almost gambling like. I can't play it. I never learned the poker hands, and I probably never will.
Bro, it's so easy.
I don't know.
Three of a kind beats a pair.
Okay.
You got that?
All right.
Now, a three of a kind and a pair is called a full house.
Oh.
Okay?
All right. What's a royal flush?
A royal flush is a queen, a king, queen, jack, ace, and a 10, all the same suite. It's fucking impossible to get that hand.
No,
it's possible, but it's...
Does the royal flush win against every other hand?
Yeah, more or less.
You have to get all the same suite.
You have all the same suite,
people.
And they have to be in
and
that...
10? Why does the 10 get in there?
Because there's...
It's not very royal.
Well, it's just the top cards.
Why didn't they stop at jack?
Because then what the fuck are you going to do for the other two cards?
This is way more complicated than you initially
Why does he need
said.
5?
Because that's how many how many cards come in a hand. You go 5 fingers, 5 cards.
Well, a pair is only 2.
Pair of fingers.
Well, that's only 2 cards. It's not 5 cards.
3 of a kind fingers.
3 of a
full house.
Full house.
Learn.
All right. Are there other hands?
Yeah. There's 4 of a kind, which is 4 of the same. There's a straight, which is let's say like a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like in a sequential order. Then there's a flush, which is different card numbers, but all of the same suite. So you have all hearts. That's called a flush. And that's why like a royal flush, it's like, all the same of the same suite. Whoa.
Crazy.
Yeah, no, there's a lot. And then the whole thing comes in, are jokers included in? Because jokers can be wild. They can be anything, which a lot of people don't go for.
Maybe I'll start gambling.
Gambling is fun.
Maybe I'll start playing poker.
Honestly, poker, like Texas Hold'em, it is fun to play, especially if you have like a group of friends. It's not so much about like, how you're going to play. Like there is a small element of strategy involved because you can like, do you want to trade cards? Do you want to like get a new hand or something? But it's more so like, can you bluff your way into getting the other guy to fold and you have a shit hand? So you could have absolutely nothing. You could just have a pair and the other guy could have like, a flush.
See, that's the
but
thing.
Can you bluff your way?
Nobody even knows I'll know how to play.
That's the idea.
Like, Hugo just learned to play like 2 weeks ago. There's no way.
Exactly.
But maybe I'll learn to play really well.
That's the thing. That's what people look for. They look for these people who are like, oh, geez, guys, I'm brand new. I don't know. And then they're like, get them in. Let's go. Let's play. Because they're like, oh, this guy doesn't know. I can like read his...
I can't, man. Gambling's... I've always lost at gambling, and so I'm just not...
So have I. But I'm still playing the fucking lottery every fucking week.
Yeah?
Yep. I got a work pool going on.
Oh.
Me and 4 other people, we each kick in $5 every week. We get 2 tickets, and then we've also got like a side pot for what's it called? Like a
Cash for life.
No, it's like a 50-50 raffle. Like hospitals, they usually do these raffles every month, and you just kick in.
I'll save you a bed if you win.
I wish.
This one's for you.
You just like pay like, $20 and they give you 50 tickets. And then like every week they call a specific number.
Yeah.
And it's like randomly
Why
generated.
are these hospitals doing this?
Because it's a way for them to raise money. Because they don't get enough get enough government funding, so they need to rely on donations. But then at the same time, they also here's the thing:
They should go all in on this.
What
on like lotteries?
Gambling.
they do.
Hospitals should go all in on lotteries.
They do go all in on lotteries, but here's the thing: a lot of hospitals and universities as well, they also have like funds and stocks as well. They that's something
that makes sense.
and that's how they're able to make like a lot of money. Like a lot of American universities and hospitals, they have like
the crypto bros.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
They do have a lot of stock.
Well, even Canadian hospitals too. Like my mom worked at a hospital. I mean, she still does. She's retiring this year. But I remember they were giving stock and bond options to their employees that they could buy into.
Yeah, yeah.
So I remember for big purchases, I can't remember specifically what it was, but mom's like, "Oh, we're just gonna cash in a bond." And at the time, I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
It's actually
understand.
something that a lot of companies don't do anymore. Because my company, they used to do that. You could actually buy into my company, and so part of your pay is just contingent on how well your fucking company is doing.
I mean, well, my company, I own a lot of stock because we were a startup for so long. Not I worked from basically year one for the company. I'm the fourth or fifth largest shareholder at this point. And our stock is a penny stock at the moment, but
It could shoot
my
up
boss
at
is always
any minute.
if it ever does, because I own something
10,000
50 million shares.
Wow.
So I think I own 50 million shares.
52 million
That's-
shares.
No, it's crazy. So if we even get up to 13
$1.
cents, well, even if we get up to 13 cents, it's
I'm a
lot
millionaire.
of money. So I'm always but at the same time, it's on the OTC market. I have no idea how to access. If I ever wanted to do anything with it, it's it's funny money to me. It's Monopoly. I don't know how to get it, or if I'm even allowed to have it, or what it means. I got no idea.
I'm sure you're allowed to have it because a lot of companies, a lot of startups, they do have their own. The people who work on it are the biggest shareholders. But yeah, hopefully, I guess if maybe somebody's listening to the podcast and wants to purchase Emily's company, maybe some people in high-ranking political offices that we might have been talking favorably about, in the last segment, give us a shout. Musk. What?
Speaking of Musk,
Speaking of musky boys.
have you ever heard Donald Trump being referred to as Donald Trunk? That's cute. Apparently, John O's Jacob does that.
Aw, that's sweet.
I wish I bought Home Depot stock when I worked there at a discount. I wonder though, if you bought that internal discount or a stock, they probably would have made you sell it when you left.
I
I don't think they're allowed to.
no.
If it's employee stock, yeah.
It would have to depend on what the terms of your employment contract.
If
would be.
you have it employee stock, then you can only have it while you're an employee. When I had,
Does that apply to CEOs?
I'm pretty sure you have to sell it. You can then buy the public stock, but the internal stock you can only have while you're employed there.
John
'Cause they-
disagrees.
John disagrees, man.
But
Because I think in order to change the nature of the stock that you own, it's quite a
no, well,
process.
it's because
I don't think
companies
you
will
can do
have
that.
two separate stocks. Now, I don't know if every company does it like this, but when I was working for Rogers, we had employee stock options, and you buy into the stock, and then they match that. They match your contribution a certain percentage. But when you leave the company, they will sell the stock for you back to you, and then if you want, you can buy the public stock.
Oh, okay.
But it's a separate stock. Their internal one has a different price. It's reflective of the public stock, but it's a different stock. But maybe that's just with employee stock options, where because they can do that because they've contributed a certain amount. But it doesn't matter. So if you contribute for 2 years and they match it 50%, you put in $1,000, they're going to give you 500. Obviously, those numbers are much higher than that if you're there for years. But I think because of that, they control, when you leave or you're fired, then they just give you a lump sum, like, here's all your stock options, here's what they're worth now, and this is your profit. You can do whatever the hell you want with it. And then at that point, you can go and buy the normal stock, the Rogers stock or whatever. But
now I don't have a stake in it. Now I don't want my company to succeed.
Yeah.
What the fuck's the point of?
Well, you might still believe that the stock is worthwhile and worth having, but yeah, now you're buying it all. If you were to take that entire lump sum, say it's like $10,000, you're going to be buying it all at the rate that it is that day, not at the rate that you bought it over the previous years that you worked at the company for. But like maybe some companies, like if you can get a discount rate on their normal stock, meaning that you can keep it forever even if you leave the company. I don't know. Companies probably do it differently. Jono, do you have a thing to say about that?
Yeah.
It wasn't a separate thing, so that's weird and crazy. Now Home Depot didn't do it like that, so it's a moot point for him. They didn't match it. It was just cheaper as an employee to buy it, and you could apportion some of your paycheck to automatically buy. But I guess it was the same stock. So they didn't have a different stock, so I guess it makes sense.
Okay. So maybe some companies do and some companies don't.
Yeah. The difference probably is like in employee stock options where they're like matched and they have a different one. But I know and I don't know, maybe not even most companies do it. Maybe Rogers was unique in that way, but they definitely had like a RCI A and RCI B, and B was for internal.
Okay. Well, that was something that my company did offer, but now they don't.
They don't do it anymore.
Nope. They don't.
No stock options.
No stock options.
So they are publicly traded company.
They are a publicly traded company, but when they first started out, like 20 years ago, one of my coworkers was telling me, because she used to own stock in the company, they said a portion of our pay did come from how well the stock of the company was working.
I'm gonna buy stock in your company before you go full AI blitz, because you guys are going to be so productive once you have a few replaced.
Unfortunately, we're not the only purveyors of air. There are other companies that do it. There are a few, actually. There's a few.
Like the atmosphere?
Huh? Yeah. We sell atmospheric gases. Believe it or not, people pay competitive prices for that shit.
Why wouldn't you? You need it to live.
It's important. You don't think about where air is needed, but it is. Like one of our biggest customers.
You're gonna dox yourself, man. Somebody's gonna find out where you work, and it's not like you're operating under a fake name.
That's true. That's true.
How many Drascos work for air companies?
That's true. All right. I'll keep it to myself. But there are a lot of products that you can use air with. It's not just, air. It's other shit too. It's just gases in the air. So, there's nitrogen gas, there's argon, there's helium, there's carbon dioxide.
Bro, helium's hilarious.
It is hilarious. Have you heard what it does to your voice?
It's so fun.
It's also super fucking expensive too.
Is it?
It is.
What a great idea for a company. Like, here's this stuff floating around that's just free. I'm gonna.
Well, you got to capture it. But
I don't know how to capture helium. So
that's it.
Is helium part of our natural atmosphere?
It is.
It is.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
It's in such small quantities that it doesn't do anything. But once you concentrate it in those cylindrical valves and tanks, that's where you inhale it, and that's when it does that to your voice. It's because it's such a high concentration of it. Yeah. Just like nitrogen gas is also in the atmosphere, but when you condense enough of it, it's enough to make liquid nitrogen, which is like one of the coldest substances on Earth.
There's a gas that's the opposite of helium and makes your voice deeper. Sulfur hexafluoride. Interesting. Man, learning all sorts of shit on this episode.
It's chemistry,
we went from
baby.
Politics to science. No, politics to TV shows to video games to science.
I want to go back to TV shows. Can we go back to TV shows?
Only if it's going to be a good TV show that you've watched more than 5 minutes of.
I have. Me and Grace are on Season 4 of Lost.
Oh, nice! Yeah. Well, you've surpassed us. We've it's taken a back seat for us.
Yeah.
We watched other shows.
We finally hit the point.
Wait, you can't spoil it.
God damn.
Emily's not there yet.
Oh shit. Okay, sorry.
We're still stuck on season 3. We're stuck on the island.
What happened? What's the last thing that happened for you guys then?
Um,
I'm assuming something
John came. Jack.
Juliet comes back with Jack, and
And
then everyone's like kind of ostracized her, but then they kind of come around to her.
And then at the end of the episode, you kind of, well, yeah, I think like at this point we had the sneaking suspicion that Juliet was kind of a mole.
She was a
That she was spying for the others.
I mean,
but obviously Jack probably doesn't know that. But at the end of that episode, you see her talking to Ben on like a radio while they're all like partying or something. Yeah, they're partying because Sawyer did something to get approval from the group or something.
No, that it's a flashback of her speaking with Ben. She's not on the radio with him. It's a flashback.
Oh,
of,
right.
Like,
Yeah, that's right. You're right. Yeah. Well, I think my way would have been better. But
okay.
She pulls away from the party. He's like, yeah, they're having a really good time. They have no fucking clue that I'm here to fuck them over. And Jack can suck a dick. I don't actually like him, even though he's starting to fall for me.
Oh no.
Well, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what, if I were to write Lost, that's what I would do.
If I
In
were
fact, when we're all done Lost, we're going to do our own version, what we would have done.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what I would have done right now is focus more on the fucking island and less on the people.
Jack can gargle some balls.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree.
Wait, was it Stone Tomahawk or Bone Tomahawk? Because there's a movie called Bone Tomahawk.
Bone in Tomahawk is not a steak.
what kind of movie?
Bone Tomahawk?
Yeah.
It's a horror movie.
Oh, all right.
I feel like
It stars the Big Lebowski.
Oh.
Bone Tomahawk. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Bone. Yeah, it stars the Big Lebowski, Jeff Bridges, and it's a horror movie set in the American West, and apparently there's bad stuff going around in the American West, and they got to go figure out what's going on and stop it.
Jeff Bridges?
Jeff Bridges.
Man, I love that guy.
Yeah, he plays a good cowboy.
He was great in Tron.
Oh, it's Snake Plissken. Sorry. You know what? At old age, they're very identical old white men. All right. Yeah, Kurt Russell. Yeah, okay, Jono, I got it. I've seen a movie before, man. Chill the fuck out, bro.
Clearly, you haven't seen enough. You probably watched them all 5 minutes.
Bro,
like,
who's on season 4 of Lost? Hands up.
Who?
Who?
Oh,
Me. That's
you meant like who was in what characters are still in season 4. Well, is there anything you can still say about your excitement of being in season 4 without spoiling anything?
Yeah. Hey, what are you doing? Yeah.
Evie.
Oh, she's sniffing at.
Gremlin. We have a puppy intruder.
It's some kind of piece of plastic on the floor.
Is it?
There. She was just sniffing at it. She wasn't chewing on it.
Yep. It's definitely something that...
Oh, man. Did you hear about how, on average, the human body has a spoon, like an actual spoon of microplastics?
Oh, it used to be a credit card. Now it's a spoon.
That's a spoon.
Soon it's going to be an entire iPad of plastic in the human body's
worth. Well, we've got a spoon's worth of microplastics inside of us.
There's no escaping it, man.
No.
You know, there's literally nothing you can do to I mean, you can maybe mitigate it somewhat, but there's no escaping it. It's in the air you breathe.
It's in the air that I sell. It's in the it is in the water that you drink. It's everywhere. Like you go to a restaurant and it's like you don't know where the food's coming from or like what the food is being processed.
If a restaurant sous vides their food, you're gonna get a bunch of plastic from that. I don't know. There's just no real way around it.
No. I say live with
one day they're gonna come up with like plastic that maybe won't leach. Or maybe they'll come up with like a fungus that eats plastic.
Yeah, that would be nice.
And
they have worms. There's
Worms.
yeah, they've been testing them out. So there's worms that have been like verified that can fully eat and process plastic and turn it into organic matter. And
That's
they're the
crazy.
only thing on Earth that can break them down completely.
That's awesome.
They sent them to space last year to see if they could
Why
like
do we have to send
I don't
everything
know.
to space?
I don't know. They wanted to see if they could like process it in the vacuum of space because it's so important for recycling in space to like break everything down completely.
I suppose, yeah.
But yeah, worms. That's the next thing.
Honestly, that's sick. And I guess the issue is like before you start releasing these into the wild, you got to make sure they're not going to like completely
Fuck up with the ecosystems.
annihilate everything else. But
yeah.
and then it's like if they eat other things, well, it's like why would we eat plastic when we can just eat everything else?
Yeah, exactly.
And so-
Eat the worms.
Yeah, we'll eat other worms. We'll turn into like some mega worm,
Yep.
like in Dune, you know? So I don't know. But obviously it's not that simple. But that's a great start that they have, I guess, engineered these worms to eat plastic and turn it into dirt.
We got to release it on that patch of plastic that's floating in the ocean.
Yeah.
It's apparently like 5 times the size of France. Something like that.
What were we watching? Isn't there a documentary about that actually kind of disproves that?
Yeah, it's not exactly how it's been described in the media. Like there is a large amount of plastic floating around.
Yeah.
It's like
It's not
caught
that
in
big.
currents, and I think people describe it as like a garbage island.
Yeah.
But it's really just like sort of a bunch of cloudiness, and there is some trash and stuff, and it's huge. But it's not like a solid mass. It's just a massive concentration.
I think maybe
of
there were
plastic.
like the people that tried to communicate it that way or convey it to be as such. They were like combining the plastic that's spread out.
the surface area. Yeah.
And if you were to combine it into one thing, it would be the size of like Texas or whatever they said the size of it was. But it's not actually congregated in one island like they suggest that it is, apparently.
Have you heard about the asteroid that's going to strike Earth in like 34 years?
2034.
Okay. Yeah. So you've heard about it then? Yep.
I heard about it. I'm in close communication with all asteroids.
Have you heard how that number that they gave, it's like a 1 in 25 chance that it's going to hit? It's
but
complete bullshit.
Oh, is it?
It's actually closer to like 1.2% chance that it will hit us.
Oh, so nothing to worry about. I wasn't worried anyway, though. I've seen Armageddon.
Yep.
They'll sort it out.
But yeah, like
America's going to save the day.
Oh, definitely.
America is the good guys of the world. Let's not forget that, because I know right now they don't seem like the good guys of the world, but trust me, they've always been the good guys.
But by the 2030s, they're going to come around.
They're going to come around. I mean,
Yes.
we at most, if no impeachments happen, have 4 years with the Oompa Loompa, and after that, we're gonna get probably a good guy president back.
Absolutely.
or a good woman president. Well, you know what I mean by good guy. It's not a gender thing. And so, that's where it's gonna be exciting, because that'll be like the 50s again. The boomers, the new boomers. What do they call that generation?
The baby boomers.
No. But we're gonna have like a new booming economy.
The greatest generation.
We'll call them the greatest generation.
Well, that
'Cause
was
right now they're on like Gen Alpha, right?
sure. The greatest generation was the one that went and fought in World War II. They are called the greatest generation.
Yeah, but like the people that'll come out in that booming generation, they'll probably think they're better than them. Like just naturally, they're gonna think they're better, so they're gonna want to be called the new greatest generation.
Yeah, we're at alphas now. The kids that are being born
This will be like
now.
B's and C's.
Yes.
What do you call Generation C? Like
Theta.
Theta?
Yeah.
That's
Alpha,
the third.
beta, theta.
Yeah, that's the
Oh
third
yeah, because
letter.
nobody wants to be Generation C.
Charlie.
C plus, vitamin C plus.
Generation Charlie.
Generation Charlie's the big C.
Uh-huh.
And we'll think about a name for them. We can't really call them the greatest generation again.
Yeah, John's son is an alpha. He's an alpha male. It's literally the
An
greatest
alpha male.
Yes, literally the greatest.
The greatest. You can't get better than that.
You can't be wrong.
No.
Beta.
But yeah, like,
wants
nobody's
to be
going to
the
want to be that beta generation.
Beta.
It's going to be a while till we get to, Gen X again.
Yeah, it is. We have to start that number all
We're not
over.
going to be alive at that point.
Oh, no.
Unless we are, because of technological advancements and
Yes.
stem cell research that'll keep you alive much longer than you should be alive, and you'll start to hate life even more.
Or we're just going to be cyborgs and download our consciousness into an AI.
I don't know which crazy.
Which one
fucked
would you
up-
want more? I want the stem cell, because at least with the stem cell research,
Bro.
if that'll keep you alive longer, there's still a natural death, and you're not just some cyborg that can be turned off when the Wi-Fi goes out, which would be like every night here.
So have you heard about how like they've initially like banned stem cell research in like U.S. and North America?
No.
Well, like
Why? I mean, yes, I have, but why?
so what the idea
It's not
used to
cloning.
well, the idea used to be that stem cells come from aborted fetuses
Right.
because it was, and then there was this whole thing about like, oh, it was just like pro-lifers not wanting to do it. No, actually, it's stem cell therapy. More often than not, like in 80% of cases, when you inject stem cells into like a part of the body that you want to regrow those cells, instead you get just tumors. You get cancer.
Oh.
Yeah. So stem cell therapy oftentimes leads to cancer.
Interesting. But I wonder if that's because they were using stem cells from another biological being. I think the research they're doing now is using people's stem cells. You know, Casco was reaching for his phantom sweater string. It has retracted into the hood.
It's actually just like falling out.
Oh, that's so annoying. How are you gonna get it back?
It's not. It's gone forever.
No, but it's still on
You
this
gotta
side.
thread it through.
You're gonna have to bring it back.
No, actually, like if you pull this up, like right here,
Oh,
there's a
here we
split.
go. The Sith.
No, it's
Return of the Sith.
right here is a split, and I've tried pulling it through, and it doesn't because it's actually stitched in right here.
Oh, they're two different halves.
They're two different
And we've
halves.
lost one.
So the one that I did lose here is just gone, and I can't like pull this. I've tried already pulling this out, and it wouldn't come out.
Oh man, I gotta give Emily saturation control so she could just make you all pale with the hood up.
So sorry, Jono, you're just gonna have to deal with my one fucking flappy ass thing, just like me every day.
Gargle
Flappy
some
ass.
fucking
Balls.
flappy balls.
According to Jono, that's where the majority of microplastics are. It's right in the balls.
Actually, I heard it's in the brain.
Oh Jesus!
I heard, yeah, most of it is
the
being
brain.
stored in the brain,
Oh, great.
The balls in the brain.
which is what's like, I don't know, it's a theory, but apparently that's like the one of the reasons Parkinson's and Alzheimer's are on the rise.
It's not the
And
vaccines.
that's another theory. It's the damn vaccines, man. You hear measles is back?
Tuberculosis.
Tuberculosis is back, baby.
Let's
All
go.
these things we thought were gone, they're coming back.
We're literally entering like the dark ages.
Yep.
I think.
Fascism is coming back,
Let's
baby.
bring back the dark ages.
Everything old is new again.
You know what? We're gonna get to the point where there's no internet. We won't be able to broadcast this show to you. We're just gonna do it old school. Everybody will just gather around a fire. You'll have to move here, and we'll just do it like this, but around a fire. I think it'll be great.
Yep.
That'd be fun. Let's start a little commune.
Yeah,
It's the only way
Well,
we're going to
gonna
be
need
able to afford
'cause,
land.
Yeah, there won't be Wi-Fi.
No, because they're taking out the Starlink.
Goodbye, Starlink.
I'm gonna miss
Gone
seeing.
too soon.
I'm gonna miss seeing that little trail of beads flying through the
Well,
sky.
you never did see it. 'cause
I
you never-
did see it, Hugo. I've seen it twice in my life.
Well, it can go over
Spaces.
Canada. I guess.
I've seen the Starlink.
I don't really know what they needed Canada and what they were gonna do.
It was just for like the northern province, the northern territories, or like the northern areas of Ontario, where it's harder to get the infrastructure to have internet. Speaking of, did you hear how like the financial sector completely lost power because of squirrels
No.
in Toronto?
I mean, was that recently?
Yeah, it was just yesterday.
Whoa.
It was like a big chunk of the financial sector
Good
just
job,
like
squirrels.
lost power, and they were like, they sent in the technicians to like from Hydro One, and they're like, oh, squirrels chewed at the fucking power lines.
That's actually the number one cause of power outages.
Yep, it is.
squirrels.
It is. It's squirrels. So like whenever your internet is acting up, chances are it could also be squirrels. It happens, man.
I believe it.
Oh man! And speaking of Toronto, did you hear about how the Jonas Brothers were in Toronto?
No.
Oh, okay. So there was the Jonas Brothers were in town for some fucking reason, but the point is that there was a bar. There was a bar somewhere, like I think it was like an Ossington area, and they were doing Jonas Brothers trivia. It was just like for fun. They were just doing it, and the Jonas Brothers heard about it, and they fucking popped in.
Oh, that's cool.
They were like, "Hey, we're here!" And everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's the fucking Jonas Brothers!" And then one of them actually just read out a trivia question, and
That's
then they're like, "All right," and they stuck around for a few like photos and like some high fives, and then they left.
Good for them.
Yeah,
Good for them. Didn't they lose a Jonas
No, they're all still alive, all three of them.
I swear there was one of them that committed suicide or something.
Oh, fuck.
Am I just hearing shit?
No, I think you're hearing shit because all three of them were there.
Didn't one of them jump over like a balcony at a resort?
I don't know. Maybe.
Was there a fourth, Jonas?
I think there was only 3.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking of? Maybe I'm thinking of Wrong Direction.
I don't know what Wrong Direction is.
Oh, honey, One Direction.
One Direction.
Is Wrong Direction a band?
No.
It is now.
No. You've never sounded so old.
Oh, wow, Hugo.
I'm okay with that because I'm okay with not knowing One Direction versus Wrong Direction versus Jonas Brothers. He lives in the attic and eats fish heads.
Yes, Hugo Jonas.
The fourth Jonas brother.
Hugo Jonas.
Jones for some fish heads.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Cool. Wow.
I got the reference, by the way, Jono. Got it. Hugo's still trying to figure it out.
Probably not. I'm too old to get it.
Got it.
I don't understand.
I know. You guys need to get on my level. Oh, fuck. Speaking of get on my level, did you hear that the Grammys happened?
Yeah.
Did you know who was there?
Who?
It was Kanye, baby. Kanye's back.
Oh yeah. Did you see his new wife?
Did you see what she was wearing?
We can't put it up.
Oh, I mean, she looks exactly like budget Kim Kardashian.
Oh man.
Well, that's what he's done. He's groomed her to look
She
like
was
that.
wearing naked. Yes.
Yeah, she was
that's
wearing
right.
naked.
Wait, what's naked?
She was wearing naked.
She was wearing a dress that, like, I think had
It was
like,
just flush colored.
like it actually had the imprints of like nipples and breasts and stuff. Like, it made her look like she
Oh,
was totally
really?
naked. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When
What, at the Grammys? Was that-
Yeah, at the Grammys.
he was in like
He was
a
just
black
in
shirt
regular
and
like
black
outfits.
pants.
Yeah, he was just standing there.
Man, she looks so much like budget Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And then if you look at her outfit, it just looks like she's wearing. Okay, that's like the very
Nothing
tame.
at all.
You can see that there are like uncensored like photos of it.
Really, all those are cropped.
Yeah.
It's a good thing the browser isn't working. We can't really show this. I guess that we could have, but
Yeah. No.
and the vulva. Don't forget about the vulva. Jono's right.
Yeah, you could see literally everything. And then
Are you serious? She just looked like she was legit
Yeah.
naked?
yeah.
But it was a dress, so she technically wasn't naked.
Yeah. Bianca Sensori.
Bianca uncensored.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I can't. Yeah. How do I search for like bad stuff on this computer?
You need to take off safe
Yeah,
search.
you're not gonna be able to do it right now.
I want to see.
Look it up on your
Just
phone.
do it later.
I'm gonna go in private mode.
Yeah.
What?
Check out what's going on the seedy underbelly. But yeah,
I
that-
mean,
that
it was
fun.
very mainstream. It's about as mainstream as you get.
Yeah,
You know?
it is. I mean, it's the Grammys, and then like a lot of people were like, because they left right afterwards. He just showed.
So they did the red carpet and left.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh my fuck.
And like a lot of people were saying like, oh, they were like escorted out by security. It was like, no, they just left.
I believe that they just didn't want to be there.
They just stuck, and like you can see her like when she first arrived, she's wearing just like a black coat, and then like when the cameras are
so
there,
they weren't kicked out right
she
away.
just like reveals it all and does like a few poses.
All I see is like attention needing like.
He's
little
back, man. The #1 fanboy for our #1 German. He's back.
That's right. He was his fan.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he's back, in nude form.
Well, it's not him that's in nude form.
No, but you know,
It'd be awesome if he did that.
yeah.
Why don't you do that?
Who,
you
me?
No, Kanye.
Oh,
You make his wife do it instead.
well, you know, I think it's just a.
Did you hear
popularity content.
Justin Bieber has Lyme disease?
Oh shit, he does. Doesn't he have like some other disease? Like I could have sworn he had like throat paralysis or something.
I think that's his wife, isn't it?
No, he did. Because he wasn't able to sing at one of the shows. Or something.
Yeah.
right.
This is different though.
Now he's got Lyme disease. He got bit by a fucking tick.
I saw this video. Yeah, I guess so. He was all the Canadians are doing it. You know, he's like, oh, if Avril Lavigne did it, not without me. I saw this video of him recently. He looked very unhealthy.
Oh no.
But you know, I wish him all the best. I mean, it's kind of sad. He doesn't look like he's doing well, but like, yeah, he's having those health issues, and I think other issues. And isn't there like marital problems too?
Oh no!
I don't with him and Miss Bieber. That's her name. I don't know shit.
I don't know.
Haley, is it Haley? Haley Duff Bieber.
Haley Bieber. I think it is. I don't know. I can't
This
remember.
this podcast is a lot of things. It's definitely not a celebrity entertainment podcast. We don't know shit of what's going on when it comes to celebrities.
No.
We kind of know politics and games and stuff and some other junk, but celebrities.
Really not letting me view stuff.
Oh,
Everything's censored. I even put on private mode.
Private mode isn't going to get you uncensored.
You're not gonna you're not gonna get boobs with private mode, Emily. Sorry to tell you.
Well, for God's sake.
Emily, just leave it. Just imagine her naked. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, but you want to see actual what it looked like because she wasn't actually naked.
No,
it was
she
just
wasn't.
it was just a pattern.
Yeah, it was a pattern.
Yeah,
The pattern of bad behavior.
that's what we got. Speaking of bad behavior, did you hear how Doug Ford was a Trump fan for like 10 minutes?
Yeah, for 10 minutes. He's like, this is going to be really good for Ontario.
Yeah.
Historically, we've had really great history with the president, with Trump. And, can't wait till he's in power and we're going to be good old buddies.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, not so much. And I appreciate that he's taking a hard stance on it and that he's like taking off American liquor.
Yeah.
Although I don't think he said anything about American beer, though that should have been done too.
No.
Why
I think
just
it
liquor?
was just beer.
No, it was just liquor. It was just liquor.
I think they're gonna do the beer as well.
But I think that was I don't know. I think that was a federal thing. But but the federal government doesn't control our liquor.
in
so it couldn't
LCBO,
be, yeah.
we control it, or
I don't know.
Dougie controls it.
But either way, I appreciate that, but he still sold Ontario Place to some foreign spa company for 95 years at a premium price that we have to foothold and pay up front.
It's not just us; it's people from like fucking Thunder Bay, Ontario.
Yeah,
They're also paying
they're
taxes
paying for it too.
that
All
shit.
of Ontario's paying for it. They don't realize that. They think just Toronto is paying for it, and the people in the GTA are paying for this.
Oh,
for MSP.
everyone in Ontario.
Everybody in Ontario has a percentage that they're paying for this fucking spa. For this multi-billion-dollar company to build this shit up.
Yeah.
It looks like crap now. It was like prime waterfront property that everybody could go and enjoy.
Yeah.
All the
And it's
trees are
now-
gone.
Yeah.
They
destroyed.
leveled it.
It looks like post-apocalyptic. I saw photos of like people like that flew a drone around there. And I don't know, maybe they kayaked out there too, but it looks awful now. And it was such a pretty place before. It's disgusting what he did, and he pulled so many strings and did a lot of what Trump is doing, just like backroom deals, forcing legislation changes and bill changes so that he could get this moving.
Yeah.
For the only reason could be that he's making a shit ton of money out of himself.
Of course.
You know, like why would you be so damn gung ho about getting this company to open up shop there and try and sell it as like a mental health and wellness
fuck off.
like company? Like
When only rich motherfuckers is going to be able to afford to go
rich
there.
People are going to be able to afford to go there, man. That's not going to be for public use for people to go and enter a sauna and like relax.
I have mental health issues and I need to de-stress, and I live all the way in fucking Tobermory, so I need to bust my ass fucking down there for 4
also,
hours.
as if a spa is really great for mental health. Like
Yeah.
that, I mean, okay, arguably it's not bad for mental health, but there's a lot of mental health issues that a spa isn't going to do shit for.
Exactly.
Fund therapy for people.
Yeah, exactly. Like if your interest was really mental health and mental well-being for the people of Ontario, there are way better ways to spend billions of dollars on than opening up a spa that only people in the GTA are even going to go, and then out of those people, only rich people are going to go to.
Yeah, like maybe some kind of provincial funding for some kind of programs or assistance for people.
Why not make therapists more accessible?
Yeah.
Why is it something that like only if you work at a company that has benefits can you actually get a therapist or access to one?
But now even the medical plans that you do have, they're cutting how much you can spend on therapy.
Wow. Well, yeah, but
Instead,
that's happening at a corporate
Yeah,
level.
it's happening at a but it's across the board for all corporations. They're pushing this idea of like making sure everyone's happy and like in a good mental state, but then they're also like reducing the amount that your company medical plan covers for mental health and mental awareness. It's great.
John says, go to CAMH. Yeah, I mean, just go to the one place.
Yeah, the one fucking place that's located
that's
in one convenient location.
that, like he said, is more like the hospital from Silent Hill than anything else. It's like an insane asylum almost more than it is a place to actually go and rehabilitate or to, get therapy for issues that aren't like crazy mental issues like, I don't know, schizophrenia or whatever. But anyway, that all to say, yeah, it's good that he's taking a hard stance on this with the tariffs. I appreciate that, but I'm not going to forget what this motherfucker did and how corrupt he was when it comes to the Ontario place.
Yeah.
And you're not getting my vote because you did this one, because you took one hard stance.
Well,
every politician has, dude. Like, that's not hard.
It's not
every
even
politician has.
It's not even that. Did you hear like the hot mic take that happened to him recently?
Hot mic?
Yeah. So he was saying like he was just like talking with some people and he didn't realize he was being mic'd, and he's saying like, was I happy that Trump won? Absolutely, 100%. I was glad that he won. And then he fucking stabbed us in the back, and I'm thinking, well, fuck this guy. I'm like, well, what the fuck?
Well,
so even if
he was speaking very earnestly there, as if he was talking to like a friend or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, you can't expect politicians to actually speak the way they do on camera to the people they work with and their friends.
You have to always assume when you're in a public function, you're always being fucking mic'd.
For sure.
Everyone is always
stupid
listening.
of him to I don't think it was the most egregious thing he said, though, because it's kind of like the general sentiment that most people have, right? Is that like
they would rather do business with Trump than with Kamala Harris?
Well, but they were probably thinking like it won't be that bad, but now he's like really backstabbing. I don't think anyone was expecting for him to take such a hard stance on Canada and Canadian economy, and like as he has, right? That's the problem too, is that I think even the people that voted him in didn't think that he was actually going to do it. He said he was, though. Yeah. But I think a lot of people thought that it was just one of those things he said he was going to do, wouldn't actually follow up with, but he totally has. And he's strong-arming both countries into bolstering the friggin' border for no reason other than to say like, haha, look what I made you do. Like, because he really doesn't care about the drugs in coming into the country. They have nothing to do with the economy. I mean, maybe somewhat. Well, like they do, but like that's not how he sees it. So, yeah.
Glad you tuned in for our political episode.
It's a very political episode.
I mean, a lot of shit happening. It's all politics these days, man. I mean, it is a big thing.
That's the thing too, though, is that like as far as politics go, the tariff thing. We can't show you anything today, but we'll watch this one video. But I saw what's his name? What was that clip I was watching with the Night
Rider
talk show guy?
Which one?
Jon Stewart?
Jon Stewart, yeah. Right?
Sure.
There's two. There's Jon Stewart.
O'Brien?
No, there's the other one.
I don't have
the guy who hosts the Oscars.
Anyways, I think it was Jon Stewart, but he was talking about how the tariffs have outshined all of the other crazy shit that he's doing and has done. There's so much more to cover. If you look at everything he's done since he's been there.
You think it's a fucking smoke screen?
It's like major shit. Yeah, exactly. But the tariffs are all anyone's talking about. And that's not even, well, maybe it is the biggest thing that he's done and the most egregious thing that he's done. And probably the thing that can really mess up the economy really, really badly. But there's a lot of other shit that he signed and done and is working on that is also really bad. And nobody's talking about it because everyone's so focused on the tariffs, including us. We didn't talk about any of that other thing.
Yeah. Colbert,
that's what it was. Yeah. Is Stewart even still doing a show? I don't know. What do we know? We don't know anything
Jon
about
Stewart?
Jon Stewart.
Yeah, I believe he is.
But did it go off and now he's come back? Or is that Colbert that went off and now is back?
I think Colbert went off and now he's back.
Okay. Yeah, I knew one of them went off and now they're back.
Now they're back again. Yeah. When fucking talk show hosts are dead media now.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Yeah. They're good though. some of them, but it's like, yeah, what do you care? Why you're watching the huge podcast?
Yeah.
You don't have time to watch.
You got time for nothing else.
Stephen Rapport show.
Yeah.
All right, let's watch this video you really wanted us to see.
Oh man, I really wanted us.
We
to
can't
watch.
see it, eh? Should I just do 2-shot?
Yeah.
Yeah, just do the 2-shot and then like hit play. You'll have to move the mouse all the way over.
Like the best.
Hopefully
Trump
the audio will
impression
go
I've
through.
ever heard.
But the play button is down here.
I'm just trying to find like it's not.
The mouse, you'll have to go pretend like it's on to the left. There you are. You're here.
Oh, look at that.
So now look. You'll have to look at.
I got it. Wait.
Bam. Catch one fish or not. It's just like a great Chinese fisherman.
It's not gonna work. All right. Well, Emily, can you copy the link and post it in the chat so people can watch it?
Today we just
At least people can watch it after.
In the chat on Discord.
No, on Twitch, or on all of it.
it's like maybe catch one fish or two. He's got the mannerisms down.
The face.
It's really good. Yeah. Anyway, it's a really solid impression.
Yep.
I feel bad we couldn't get it. Technical difficulties.
Catch one fish or two.
Can't get the software going today.
Sorry, guys.
I don't know what the hell's going on. I'll have to fix it.
It's always
something. It's the tariffs. They're fucking up our systems.
It's the Russians for
Yep.
sure.
Anyway, the link is there. Go ahead, watch
Check it
the
out.
TikTok.
Laugh yourself silly
Definitely
before
has
bed.
a good impression.
Yeah.
This is it for us tonight.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all we had.
That's all we
Hopefully-
had. Something is gonna happen in the next 7 days, and you'll be fucking damn sure we're gonna be here.
We're going to be here to talk about it.
Yeah.
We have at least a month of tariff-free episodes.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining for what could be one of the last. You might have to start paying Twitch 25%
Yeah.
to watch our episode.
Our Canadian content.
Yeah.
We should get a little Canadian flag here, so it's like
Oh yeah, we will.
Canadian.
We'll be all
content.
Canadian next week.
Yes, exactly.
Except America, Emily.
Yeah.
She'll be in America land and in American hat.
No.
Yeah. Well, we have to be.
We have to have boots on the
equal
ground
representation.
in America.
Look, we have American viewership. We're
Yes.
going to represent them too because they
Yes.
are our friends after all.
Yes.
Only Trump is not. Let's be clear here.
Yes.
That we don't hate America. I don't think any Canadian does. When they booed the teams at the Raptors game or the hockey game, they weren't booing Americans. Let's be clear. They were booing MAGA, the MAGA movement and the Trump administration.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
God, I forgot about that. That's great.
Thank you for joining us today.
Yes, thank you.
We loved having you. It was a
Yes.
great time seeing everybody.
Great to be back.
We saw you.
Yes.
We saw you in the chat.
We saw you in there.
And
Mm,
looking forward to seeing you all in the free world next week.
yes.
Same time, same channel.
Yep. Take us out, Emily.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody, to the huge podcast where the size of your happiness matters more than the size of your problems.
Yes.
We love you. It's good to see you. See you next week.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.